Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, my name is Mia and I make videos every single week, hopefully, now that I'm feeling better, about mental health, mindful living, and motherhood. Today we're going to be talking about 6 healthier ways to use social media. Let's get started. Okay, so the first tip is actually something you've heard before, but it's super important, and that's to unfollow, unfriend, or even block anyone who gives you negative feelings or doesn't make you feel good about yourself or just overall isn't helpful for you. I know some people are against this because they're like, what if my cousin sees that I blocked him or that I unfriended him? He's gonna get so mad at me. So if that's the case for you, especially on Facebook, if you actually select to unfollow that person, you won't see their posts in your feed, but you'll still be Facebook friends. As for Instagram, I'm pretty sure you just unfollow, and like if someone's gonna see it, oh well. But honestly, I just want you to know, because I am I used to be a people pleaser, and a serious people pleaser, like crippling. And I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and my mental health was suffering because of it. So I just want to remind you, friend to friend, that your mental health is extremely important. And if blocking Auntie so-and-so is going to make you feel so much better, then you really should do it. I also want to remind you that mental health, in my opinion, is almost even more significant than physical health because, well, they're all connected is what I'm trying to say. In other words, I want people to really learn that they need to focus on their mental health as much as they focus on their physical health and their physical appearance, because ultimately your mental health impacts what you do with your physical body. It impacts your ability to show up for your day, to exercise, to eat healthy. Just overall, our mind impacts what we do with our bodies and how we spend our time and our days. So if unfollowing somebody is going to make you feel that much better mentally, it is worth it. I also just want to remind you that I know people saying, oh, I really need to unfollow some people, or oh, I really need to go through and unfriend people, and they never actually do it. I want to encourage you to literally write it as a task in your week. As if doing the laundry, unfollow people on social media. It's that important that you would write it down and make time for it on the weekend or whenever you want to do it, because it is something that does take time, but your mental health is worth that time. So definitely take time to just go through and do a cleanse of your social media. All right, the second tip is something I've been using for the last few months, and it's been extremely helpful, and that's use an app timer. So you can employ this if you go on a website, I think for your desktop, and look up ways to block social media sites after a certain amount of time. But I use social media mostly on my phone. So in most phones, I have a Google Pixel, but I know you can do this in Android and in Apple iPhones. You go to your settings and there's a way to limit the amount of time you use on a certain app. So for instance, I'll set my apps to 15 minutes each or 20 minutes each, whatever it is, for Instagram and Facebook. And after I use that amount of time, it shuts me out. And what that does is it removes you having to negotiate, oh, should I get off now? Maybe one more peek, maybe let's check the notifications one more time. And it also makes you really aware just how quickly that time passes. And it also gets you checking every single day, oh, I used my apps this much, I was on my phone this many hours. And it just gets you to be really honest with yourself so that you can't BS your way through your social media addiction like I was doing. So I highly recommend using an app timer for your daily use so that after 30 minutes of being on social media, you can't be on social media anymore. The third thing is a little bit harder to do, but extremely beneficial, and that's do regular detoxes. You can either do it every week or every month or every other week. I know some people that every Friday they actually delete the apps off their phone so that they can be super present and aware and really maximize their weekend and their time with their family and friends. Or you could do what I do, which is every other week, I'm okay, I'm gonna go 48 hours without social media, and I just delete it off my phone, because guess what? Reinstalling it is possible. It's not a big deal, but removing it from your phone completely will just, again, keep you from having to negotiate, oh, I just want to go on. Should I go on? Is it a good time to go on? Should I get off? Blah, blah, blah. Basically, it's going to free up so much time. It's going to help you become more aware of how you're using your spare moments, because I realized when I did my 48-hour detox last weekend that there was so much I was not doing. In the 10 minutes I would spend scrolling Instagram, instead I decided to go get myself something to eat, or throw some dishes in the dishwasher, or tidy up the living room, or sit down on the floor with my son and play cards with him. And I realized that even though that 10 minutes might seem insignificant when you're on Instagram, oh, it was only 10 minutes on Instagram, but it gave me 10 minutes back into my life that I was able to spend doing something that benefited my mental health, my relationships. So I just highly encourage you to just plan your regular detoxes, get the apps off your phone completely and just live in the moment. And if you really want to take photos, take it with your phone and take it with your camera and just post it later. Like, everyone's gonna live if you take a break from social media. The fourth tip I want to share with you is something that not a lot of people talk about, but it's something that's been helping me tremendously, especially if you struggle with feeling jealous, hashtag Instagram jealousy. And that is to encourage, lift up, and share every time you go on. So one of the ways that I make myself feel better about the time I do spend on social media is that when I am on, if I see something that impacts me in a positive way, I share it. I go, oh, like my friend so-and-so shared this really great quote or made this really great Instagram story or this video, and I really loved it and it really helped me, or just making sure like that we are using it as a space to be positive and uplifting and encouraging, because again, you're powerful and we are all influencers. Believe it or not, you're an influencer. I'm an influencer, no matter how many followers you have. And you taking the time to say something positive to somebody or to be encouraging to somebody, to not just read a post and double tap and move on, but to really comment and let that person know that you see them. Because guess what? We all want to feel seen. We all want to feel connected. And one of the things I want people to understand is that if you want something, bring it out into the world. I personally love having personal connection with people. I love when people encourage me. So I make sure that if I want to receive encouragement, then I am also giving encouragement, and then it comes back to you. I firmly believe that. If you hear my daughter, she's with her dad. I firmly believe that what you do, what you put out comes back to you, okay? And that is just a way to use your influence and these powerful social media apps for good, okay? There's already so much garbage out there on social media, and everyone I know is complaining about it. And why not just use your circle of influence to do something good? Why not use your social media time to do something good? So the next time, especially if you see someone, you're like, man, she has such a great body, or I wish I had a house like her, or her decorations are on point, or man, I wish I had his car. Instead of feeling that jealousy, which honestly just makes you feel like crap, why not just stop, like their photo, and comment and say, congrats, man, I'm so happy for you that you got that car, or congrats, girl, like so happy that you got that new job. Like, it doesn't take anything away from you to do that, and it only just spreads so much optimism and encouragement for everybody else. So I highly encourage you to do that. It totally has transformed my approach and my feelings towards social media. The fifth tip is something I got from the amazing Mimi Icon. You should look her up. I will leave a link to her channel below, but she's super inspiring. And she says, create more than you consume. And this was huge for me. Basically, whenever I'm starting to feel off, I realize it's because I'm consuming more social media and TV and media in general than I'm creating. Creativity feeds our souls. We are all meant to be creative, I believe. And I'm like a data spreadsheet kind of person. And still sitting here talking to you is me being creative. It's my creative outlet. So I just want to encourage you to create more than you consume. And don't stress about, well, my photos aren't as good as this person or that person. Like, I don't take photos with a camera. I use my cell phone. And a lot of times I feel like my photos are less than. But guess what? Your feed is your feed. And you get to share whatever lights you up. So if it's your picture of your kid eating their first donut, share it. It's probably going to lift up another mom and make her feel better. If it's the fact that you got your 5th workout done in the month, that's amazing. Share it. You know, I really think that we all have something to offer, and instead of sitting on the sidelines and hiding in the shadows because we feel like we're not as good as so-and-so or Jane Doe over there with the nice 4K camera, like, let all that crap go and just create more than you consume. Your soul is going to feel so much better for it, and it's also going to make your time on social media so much more productive. The last tip that I want to remind you of, which I know we've heard before, but honestly, we can't be reminded enough, is that nobody's life is perfect. And anytime I'm feeling crappy about my life or where I'm at, and I go on social media and I feel even crappier, I just try to remind myself that every person has problems. No one in this world is free from suffering, okay? Even the person you know with a nice car or the nice apartment or the perfect body, they have challenges too. And I just want to remind all of you of that. I mean, even if you see someone on YouTube and you think, man, they have it all together, you don't see their whole world. There's so much going on in every person's life. Humans are complex. The world is complex. So just remember that everyone has their own struggles, and that just because you see something beautiful that's happening in their lives, just cheer them on for that one thing. Honestly, it helps them focus on the good in their life, which is a good thing all around. But just put it into context if you feel bad about your life. Like, You're not the only one. It's going to be okay. All right. And I want to just leave off on a final note. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about how social media causes depression and anxiety. And as someone who's been struggling deeply with depression and anxiety for years, I used to subscribe to this thinking that Instagram was causing my problems. And guess what? Even after the Instagram shutdown happened a few weeks ago, actually right now it must be a month ago, where like Instagram shut down and Facebook shut down and everyone was freaking out, I realized that it wasn't these apps that's causing my problems, and it's not these apps that are causing your problems either if you struggle with mental health. And what I mean by that is social media is a tool. It truly is just a tool. And you can choose to use it for your benefit, or you can choose to use it to cause problems in your life. And the more that we say that our depression is something else's fault, the more we give our power away. So I want to remind you and myself that we're in control of our mental health. We are in control, well, okay, let me caveat this. We're in control of what we do for our mental health. We're not in control of whether or not we have mental health, obviously, especially if you get it from genetics, which I do, or abuse, which I do. But you can control what else you bring into your life or remove from your life to improve your mental health, to improve your state of mind. So I just want to remind you that if you're feeling like, well, social media is causing all of our problems, I want to remind you that you're in control of how you use these tools, and these tools are just tools. They're not good or evil, right? A hammer can be used for good, and a hammer can also be used for evil. It's the same with social media. And the reason why I tell you that is not just to remind you that you're in the driver's seat, but also to remind you to really take these tips to heart and think of which ones you're going to apply in your own life. Are you going to do a digital detox this weekend? Are you going to set up timers on your phone to lock you out after a certain time every day? Are you going to go through and really unfriend the people and unfollow the people that don't make you feel good about yourself? You know, I share these tips and I make these videos because I truly want to help you have a better mental state. I know what it feels like to struggle with depression and anxiety, and it absolutely sucks. But I also know from experience that these little things, these little tips I'm sharing with you, that I've done it in my own life, have actually helped me. I never share something with you that I haven't done myself. So that's all I wanted to say. And if you could do me a favor, leave me a comment below of anything that you've implemented in your life to have better control of social media instead of letting social media have control over you. I think I can learn from you. We can all learn from each other. So please do that in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will see you in my next video, okay? All right, bye.